Welcome back. This is another vlog video, an update on my October reading challenge. Today is October 4th. It is Sunday, the night before I have to go back to work. The weekend went by way too quickly. In the last video, I left off on Saturday, stating that I wasn't sure which book I was going to be picking up next because I was in between a couple different ones. I couldn't make up my mind. I did eventually decide on We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson, and I'm not very far. I'm only 20 pages into it. I still don't really know what is going on or what we're heading towards in this book, and I think not knowing is making me super anxious. Like, I really want to know, but at the same time I'm like really nervous to find out, which I like is the point, but at the same time it's just making me anxious. I might read some other things in between reading this, depending on how quickly it takes for things to like pick up, because so far we've just been introduced to the characters and to the setting. There's the Blackwoods, this family that lives in this mansion, I think, with a huge plot of land, and then the surrounding village or the nearby village is not as well off. It's a lot of poor folk who are very jealous and hate these people for some reason. I don't know if it's just because of like their wealth or if there's more to it. I think there's more to it, but that's so far all that we've gotten. I haven't listened to any more of Interview with the Vampire. I didn't have a chance today. I didn't really go anywhere, so I didn't really listen to it in my car. I wasn't really feeling it. Today was a very chill day, and I didn't really do a whole lot. So not much to update you on. I did finish the introduction to In Japanese Ghost Stories. I might read a couple of these tonight, like before I go to bed, instead of continuing with the other book. I don't think I feel like I'm not feeling like reading that right now, but I'll probably read it more tomorrow. But yeah, so that's it. Nothing else, no other updates. It's only been a day, so let's see where the rest of the week takes us. Today is Wednesday, the 7th, and I am about 30-ish% through Interview with the Vampire, and I am absolutely loving it. It is so good, and I think I'll probably continue. I didn't really consider continuing this series with the other books, but I think I'm going to now. I'm really interested. I haven't gotten much farther in We Have Always Lived in the Castle, only a couple pages. I wasn't really feeling it, so I read a little bit more of Japanese Ghost Stories by Lafcadio Hearn, and that I'm really liking the stories in it, or the way that he's telling the stories, because not only is he telling the story, but he's also like talking about his experience telling the story, like as him experiencing the story and thinking about it, and it's just a really interesting way of storytelling, and it's not exactly like creepy yet. Like I haven't had any stories or read any stories where it's really scary or like they're really terrifying ghost stories. Just kind of eerie so far, but I'm not that far in. I've only read a couple of stories, so I imagine there are probably some later on that get a little bit spookier, but we'll see. I am looking forward to reading the other stories in this. And I also read the first page of Mercy by Sarah Thomson, just because I wanted to sort of get an idea of what it was going to be like, the writing style was going to be like, and I'm intrigued. So the book is about a girl who is looking into her her family history and find something kind of disturbing. And the first page, I think, is not from her perspective, but from probably someone in her past, or in her family tree, maybe. Mercy. Something bad is happening to her, and it's happened to her mother before, and other women in her family, and now it's happening to her. And she's talking about leaving, not being there for her father and her brothers. And so far in the first page, it's not revealed what it is, just that there's blood and something bad's happening. I'm really intrigued. I like how it started. I really like how this story started. So depending, I'm gonna give We Have Lived in the Castle, or We Have Always Lived in the Castle, a little bit longer. And if it doesn't grab my attention, then I'm probably gonna start Mercy instead and give the other one a break. But that's where I'm at so far. I really loving Interview with the Vampire, and I'm probably gonna continue listening to it today. It is Friday night, and it's been a little over a day since I last updated, but in the last update I said that I wasn't sure how I felt about We Have Always Lived in the Castle. I wasn't quite hooked by it yet. I wasn't sure where the story was going, and it made me nervous kind of reading it because I didn't know what was going to happen. So I thought about picking something else up, but I decided to give this We Have Always Lived in the Castle another shot. And so I read some of it after work, and I love it. I'm almost done. I'm very close to being done. And if it wasn't so late, I would definitely probably finish it tonight, but I'll probably finish it tomorrow. But the narrator, Mary Catherine, is so interesting. Just her thoughts and her thought process are so interesting and unique and magical, and I feel for her. And there are things that I'm not sure if it's just because she is obsessive compulsive or something, or if there actually is something sort of more going on, if there is some sort of magical element to what she's doing, some logic to her madness, or if she's just mad. I don't know, but it's good, and I don't know how it's gonna end, and I'm so anxious for this character, even though she just hates everyone except for her sister and her uncle. But everyone else, she's constantly picturing them dead in her mind. She's just going through the motions, just imagining them dead as she walks over them, which is kind of intense. But I feel for her and don't want anything terrible to happen to her. So I'm super anxious for how this story is gonna play out in these last 60 pages left. Wow. And then I'm also a little bit farther into Interview with the Vampire. It's definitely going differently than I think the movie went. I don't remember exactly how the movie goes because it's been a while since I've seen it, but I believe it is playing out differently. Parts of it are playing out differently. I'm sort of waiting for a certain part in the movie to happen, but I don't think we're close to it yet, or I don't know if we're close to it and it's just we're gonna get there really quickly, or if it's still gonna take a while for us to get there. I don't know. It also might be because so much has happened already that I feel like I'm much farther into the book than I am. I'm only 35% in, so I'm not even at the halfway point, which is crazy. I also, again, love the narration of it. It being in this style and listening to it as an audiobook is just really entertaining, and I love the storytelling storytelling and the way the narrator is telling it, and yeah, it's great. I'm in a really good spot right now with all the stuff I'm reading, because that feels like really good storytelling, like the way the narrator is voicing it, and then this is picked up, and I really like the main character and her thoughts and the way the story is playing out in her head. And then the Japanese ghost stories is not what I was expecting, and I really like the way that the author is telling those stories so far. So that's where I'm at. I'm hoping to finish this tomorrow and find out how it ends. And then I want to say I'll probably finish Interview with the Vampire within the next few days, just because I'm loving it so much. But then again, I'm only 35% of the way through it. I just feel like I'm much farther than I am. I'll probably give one more update before the end of the week as to probably the end of this, and then start something else. It is Saturday, October 10th, and Thursday I recorded, and I had gotten through most of We Have Always Lived in the Castle, but I hadn't finished it. I have finished it. I finished it yesterday, and I loved it. The ending was great. I loved the ending. I'm really curious to know if other people like it, if other people like the ending, how other people feel about the narrator, Mary Cat, if they like her or not. So I immediately picked up Mercy by Sarah Thomson, and it was a very quick read. I finished it today. It's only 170 something pages. It's a YA, young adult, maybe a little younger. The main character is 14, and it was a very quick read, very quick. And I liked it. It was entertaining. I liked what was happening in the story. I liked the mystery, and the lore of the New England vampire was really cool. There was some teenage angst that I was like, about. I'm not a huge fan of YA, so I recognized that was just a preference thing for me, not so much like a criticism of how the story was being told or the writing or anything like that. So I was able to enjoy it. I did like it. And obviously, I finished it I started it yesterday, but I finished it today, so I finished it in like a day. I only listened to a little bit more of Interview with a Vampire. I'm now 43-ish. I think I'm 43% of the way through now. And man, I'm feeling a little bit conflicted because I am really interested in it and I really like it, but at the same time, I feel like it's dragging a little bit. Like I'm waiting for things to pick up because I know that they go somewhere else based on the movie, and I'm waiting for that to happen, and it hasn't happened yet. But now we're at the near the halfway point, so I'm wondering if now that we're there, the next half of the book will be this next part, the other part of the movie, which would make sense, but I was expecting that to happen sooner. I'm about there. I'm almost there. It's probably going to happen very soon that they do what I'm expecting them to do, but I'm still really enjoying it. I read a couple more stories from Japanese ghost stories, and it's just, I really like how he tells the stories. So it's not what I was expecting, and I know I said that before, but I was expecting Japanese ghost stories, just straight up stories told from start to finish, and that was it. But this is more like him encountering people who tell him stories in a way, or him encountering people who believe in ghosts and spirits and them talking about their experiences, and then him traveling and thinking about stories as he's traveling based on things that he's seeing and that are reminding him of them, and then him choosing to make certain actions based off of stories that he's heard or legends that he's heard. It's really cool and I like it, and it feels more real than just reading a ghost story. Now, since I finished Mercy, I do plan on picking up another book. I'm not sure which one it is. I have in my bag both Cujo and Sandman Slim. I picked up Cujo because it's probably one of the scarier reads that I have, and I think I want to give it a shot and just see how I feel about it. And then Sandman Slim, I'm really excited to read. I've had it on my shelf for a long time. When I saw it on my shelf and realized, hey, this would really work for October, I get really excited because I do really want to read it, and this is the perfect excuse to do that. I just don't know which one I'm going to pick up next, so probably find out in the next vlog. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe, and if you want to be notified when I post next, hit the bell. Have a nice weekend. Bye.